work on challenge-driven education, but also to include research education and research. And it's with the University of Rwanda, the Polytechnic University here in Kigali, and the National Board for Science and Technology, and the Royal Institute of Technology in Stockholm that will sign this tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that, and for the future collaborations that will follow. Thank you.
I've also realized that some individuals are so good at keeping time. And because of that, I think if we go by this style, we would want to invite 2 more from the same team to also share their perspectives. I think very critical. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Charlotte Weiberg, the acting president of Chalmers. So I'm a colleague with Helen. I would like to highlight the longitudinal efforts here. We actually have a 20 years. I think it's really important that when we do collaboration, we're in it for a long time. That's when we make progress, and that's when we make quality. And that's one thing that I really want to highlight, and that I'm really proud of. I mean, we're all here. Not all of us have been here for 20 years, but I would really encourage my Swedish colleagues here, no matter what university we are from, that we really have to take the longitudinal aspect here. Another thing that I would like to say is I'm a professor in interaction design, and I would like to highlight the interaction, because the interaction between people is very important. There is an expression, a win-win perspective. That's a bit, not very nice perhaps, but it happens in the interaction, and we really need to, we had a discussion at the lunch yesterday, what's in it for us and what's in it for you, and to do studies here in Rwanda, I think the Swedish delegations can really bring back a lot of knowledge for us and for our society. So we at Chalmers are very proud to be here, and we're in it for a long time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ylva Hilber. I'm Pro-Vice Chancellor at the Swedish University of Agricultural Sciences, and it's a great pleasure and honor to be here. My reflections over the past week has been around the context and the opportunities that both, as was mentioned, the 20 years has given us, but also the thematic setup of this program. We often talk about interdisciplinarity and interdisciplinary collaboration, and I think we all know that it is easier said than done, but I think the thematic structure of this program has shown that it has happened and that we have a great potential to continue to collaborate in that fashion. And we have created bonds across universities, across disciplines, and I think that is a great fundament for a continued collaboration, looking at how we can jointly contribute to sustainable development. We need to do that not only within our disciplines and within our countries, it has to be done in a cross-disciplinary fashion and in international collaboration. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Incredible. We just had 5 presentations in 7 minutes, which is good. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. And next, before we do the closing remarks, we also have key reflections presented by Professor Bizoza. Now, part of his bio is that he does everything in 3 minutes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Just to summarize the event for the last 3 days, we had day 1, which focused mainly on the science and reflecting on how science can help to transform the society. We looked at different thematic areas, covering from agriculture, food security, climate change, health, gender. I think these were the main topics for day one. Day two, we also had the reflection after the visit on the social cohesion. I think this was also very important, but also we had a time to hear some opening remarks from the Vice Chancellor, from the Ambassador, and also other guests. Today we are closing, but we are not ending the collaboration. And this is going to be also reflected in the closing remarks. But there are 4 points or 3 areas for reflections. One, how to strengthen the cooperation between institutions to institutions, rather than having institutions being strengthened with SIDA itself, but already the universities, these partnerships, the intra-relationships between universities, how is it strengthened in order to also address the second point of mobilizing resources beyond the SIDA funding, so the cooperation between universities can also team to generate resources from other sources of funding in addition to what SIDA is contributing to. Number 3, what are the new frontiers for corporations? I think the message from one of the vice chancellors, we are looking at the science and innovation, but social innovations, I think it's also another frontier to focus on as we transform lives of people. As we said last time, we are doing all for the betterment and for the improvement of people's livelihoods. Number 4, what is your opinion? I think this was also reflected from the Vice Chancellor's opinions. As we close, I would like to say on behalf of the organizing team, if there is something that we did not meet as expectation, please bear with us. Next time when you come, we will correct it. And we have also organized one form for the evaluation. It's going to be sent on your emails. Please take some few minutes to give us some comments so that we see where we need to improve, but also see where we did well, so that we can take note of that as part of the organizing team. So without further ado, I think I'm going to invite Martina, who is the Deputy Head of Mission, to give her remarks as we close. And then to save time, the Vice Chancellor from the University of Rwanda will also come on board to give the closing remarks as well. Thank you again for your attention and your patience to be with us. So you can use that one.
Dear friends, because I think after these days we really reached a point where we're friends. We can leave the titles and everything behind, and we're part of this family almost. What an amazing celebration this has been. Really, I'm really speechless. Actually, I feel like my job to hold the closing remark has already been done, because you were all giving your closing reflections, and a lot of the things that I wanted to say have already been said. But the one thing that hasn't been said is to really thank the organizing team. There have been people in Sweden, people at the Swedish Embassy, of course, University of Rwanda, but yes, an amazing job. So yes, let's give them a round of applause. Something I have personally really appreciated that you did, which I didn't actually know about, is how you brought in voices and people from the past former VCs who have been so important for this journey, and you brought them here to the audience. We had a movie where we heard them speak, and I dare to say that all of us, also newcomers like myself, can understand and appreciate the journey that we've all been on for quite some time, where we came from, what journey we've been traveling, and where we are today, and really appreciate all the things that we have accomplished together much better by knowing that story. So thank you so much for that. Now it's time to look ahead, because the work is not done. It is time that we look broader, and I think it's time to really set the intention of what, and think about what the future we want to create together, because this is where we start that future. So let's take a moment and just reflect a little bit what has been said. And like I said, actually, many of you already spoke, and you've said pretty much the things that I wanted to say. How important it is to focus on quality and not just quantity. We've spent the morning here talking about innovation and how we can connect research with society, the bigger society. I've also heard many talking about joining forces. How can we work collectively, whether that being regionally here in Africa, or whether it being actually connecting various Swedish universities while they work together with you here. I've heard actually a number of the Swedish delegates who've said to me, sort of whispering, you know, we don't meet naturally back in Sweden. Sweden is not a big country, but it's a very long country, and it's not natural that you run into each other. And some of you actually said, wow, we had to come to Kigali to meet and speak to our other Swedish colleagues. I've also heard many talk about the importance of self-sustained relations, something beyond aid, and relations that exist because there's a mutual benefits for everyone involved, and therefore these relations are created and sustained. We are at a crossroad, and the future will certainly not look like the past looked. We know that development aid is decreasing, but it's not disappearing. And we, SIDA, the Swedish Embassy here in Kigali, we want to be part of this very exciting journey that we all have going forward. I think the question really is, how can we make the most of what we have? So how can we use that development aid that we do have, but how can we use it in the smartest way and in the most strategic way to get the most out of it? And therefore, we need to look broader and we need to be creative. And just like you said earlier, I think we need to look at what other financial flows are there that we could possibly tap into. How can we engage with private sector? What part of private sector do we need to join hands with when we go forward? But also, within this sort of development aid toolbox, as we like to talk about it, we have different tools. And we have different tools than just grants. Within SIDA, in other areas, not so much within the research cooperation yet, we use instruments such as challenge funds and guarantees. So how can we utilize these types of instruments also within the research collaboration? However we decide to do this, I am convinced that we have to do this together. And we have to do this as partners. So I would actually like to end with a quote that Didas was using when you opened yesterday. Coming together is a beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success. So let's continue to work together and continue this successful story. Thank you. I'll stay here.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Martina. And just like those who moderated today were saying, we are short of time, especially for those of us who are going to go for an excursion. And so I will be so brief. But before I say my final thank you, I wanted to recognize Professor Ijumba. He's in the room, I know. Prof, are you there? Yes. Professor Ijumba was our Deputy Vice Chancellor in charge of academics and research, and he did a tremendous job. And in a way, and a very significant way, he also contributed in the good relationship we are having, the partnership we are having. So I just wanted to highlight that. And of course, they showed you, they called for Professor Phil Cotton. Prof, raise again. Prof Cotton was also a Vice Chancellor here, and he worked with Professor Ijumba to advance the university. And at the same time, again, almost the entire team is here. Professor and Ambassador Charles Murigande is there. We saw him yesterday. The three served at the same time, although Professor Murigande took a little bit longer after the two, Professor Cotton and Ijumba, had left. So, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed in all your respective capacities, from wherever you came from. I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you for having accepted our invitation, for having kept with us for all the days here, for having been able to bear with us. If, as the overall coordinator said, if there are any where we run short in our organization, in our timekeeping, in our presentations, we did not intend it. We intended to be meeting every expectations. But if we did fall in one way or the other, apologies. But we really needed to be, and I think we will be, better hosts the next time we do attempt this. Thank you very much, and we are still together. Those of you who will be leaving this afternoon or tomorrow, safe journeys back home. And those who will be staying with us until some extra days, we wish you a pleasant stay with us. Thank you so much, and welcome again.
For a communique, for those who are not going to, there is a coffee behind. If you can grasp quickly as you move to the bus, for those who are going to the visit. And then you can continue networking for those who are not going. And then we have lunch as well, which is going to be served the same place. So you can continue networking for those who are not going, meet your team members and so on. Have a good day and safe travels back home. Thank you. For those who are going to the visit, the bus is just at the exit where we normally be dropped.
Over. I wanna hold you so tight, coming closer. It's been a hell of a ride, but every single moment you were there by my side. Whenever I'm broken, you make me feel whole. Whenever I'm lonely, you're there for my soul. Wherever you are, girl, that's where I call my home. Whenever you doubt it, I'll be letting you know. Oh, girl, I want to be dancing with you forever. You see through the storm and take me as I am. Baby, it's magic anytime that we're together. I make I just love you and hold you for my hand. Hold you for my hand. Hold you for my hand. Hold you for my hand.
Over and over again, yeah, my love is burning, babe. Feels like time is frozen and the night is for us. I'll be alone again, every moment's golden, yeah. Feelings I've been holding in, it must be love.
Whenever I'm broken, you make me feel whole. Whenever I'm lonely, you're there for my soul. Wherever you are, girl, that's where I call my own. Whenever you doubt it, I'll be letting you know. Oh, girl, I want to be dancing with you forever. You sit through the storm and take me as I am. Baby, it's magic anytime that we're together. I make her just love you and hold you for my hand. 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 Hold you for my hand.
Since I met one girl dating now, I'm ready for forever. Everybody got to know you. Maybe you know, don't say me, I be there plan to marry you. No be holiday too, I already know I go wife you. It be like you go dey tender, you go dey tender, you go dey tender. If I start to dey hot, you go put temper. It be like you go get fire, you go get fire, you go get fire. If I start to dey go, you go bring fire. Animal be there, it dey hard to find. They know they see I'm for all. Okay, my number they go. It dey hard to find. They know they see I'm for all. Get them for money, get them for money. Oh, I'm for you, Nanya. I get them for money, I get them for money. Oh, I can't live with you.
Give them something to talk about you. Try ebelebe, ebelebe. Manya lo fafi muka fanenebe. Asamwani ne bume.